Are you looking for an internship for the upcoming fall? If so,
we've got the job for you. But there's a couple catches. You have to be comfortable around lasers.
You also have to really be okay with babysitting a 37-year-old man.
You have to be able to email multiple emails at once to Tim to make sure that he knows his daily schedule.
You have to be very comfortable with backhanded compliments. You have to be very good at yelling at Tim to start the show.
On tonight's No Things Considered, North Korea is not the bomb, CNN spreads panic in Hawaii, and Lauren Fix talks about the left's war on cars. And now here's your host, Tim Young.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Things Considered. Today on the show we have Lauren Fix, the car coach. Now she's going to be on talking about something very interesting, the fact that the left is actually at war against cars and fossil fuels, something that you may have seen bits and pieces of, but she's going to put it together for you later on the show. First of all, let's get to something that's on everyone's minds. Kim Jong-un. What the hell stock photo is that? That is not Kim Jong-un. That is what North Korea puts out as propaganda. Much better. Look at that. Fat baby that loves cheese and hates Guam. Kim Jong-un starts threatening America again this week, and he's getting nasty with these nuclear warheads. Donald Trump, though, he's not putting up with it.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
And I know you're thinking to yourself, fire and fury, well, maybe not seen in this world, but it's seen in the world of Seven Kingdoms. That's right. I think Donald Trump's hiding dragons.
It is not survival I offer. It is your heart's desire.
And what is my heart's desire?
Vengeance. Justice.
Fire and fury.
After Donald Trump said he'd be met with fire and fury, he went on to threaten Guam. North Korea threatening Guam. And before anybody in America thinks that we should send reinforcements there to protect Guam, remember these words of Hank Johnson, who warned us years ago the damage that could be caused to that tiny, tiny island.
My fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
Can you imagine being the admiral, by the way, that had to sit through that and not laugh? He actually responded in a professional manner. I couldn't have kept it together. I've been like, what the F are you talking about, buddy? Anyway, over on CNN, who doesn't want anybody to panic about anything, they're like, hey, not only can they strike Guam, they're about to blow up Hawaii. Everybody get in a bunker.
This is not the only island within striking distance of North Korea. Another potential target within Kim Jong-un's range is Hawaii, which is where Sarah Seidner is live tonight. She's inside a bunker in Honolulu, which houses the Emergency Operating Center's state warning point.
That's right. They're hiding out down in the bunkers in Hawaii. And we're going to learn about how Hawaii is prepared for Kim Jong-un's missiles that will never reach them.
Here's where that warning would come. First, there would be a call that would come into this phone. It's a secure line.
By the way, nothing says you're ready for TV like dressing up with a little fancy clubby shirt on, because you know he doesn't come to work dressed like that every day. Nope. CNN's coming. I'm looking fly. I'm going to pretend like I'm busy. There's not, literally, this guy is like the nuclear warning guy. He's had nothing to do for 20 years. He's getting paid probably $100,000 a year to sit in a bunker all day long, 9 to 5. Sit by a phone just in case. This is as exciting as it gets. I can't blame him for dressing up.
And then there would be a warning that would go out to the entire population. They have sirens that they are working on now to make sure that the population knows exactly what that sound means.
Hold on. They have sirens that they're working on just now to make sure that the population's ready just in case there's some sort of attack. Remember when World War II happened? They didn't keep those sirens around for a while? Pearl Harbor? No. We're just now preparing for... We've been under threat of attack from North Korea for how long? And just now?
there's an attack that's going to happen, this phone would be picked up by someone sitting here. They would pick up the Haywas phone and they would call all of the counties, and that goes to all the counties directly to let them know that a warning siren is necessary and that an attack is underway. Aaron?
So Sarah, I mean, it's pretty stunning when you talk about 20 minutes, of which really only 15 minutes count to warning people.
Anybody notice that there's nobody there to pick up that phone in case something happened in that 20-minute time frame? Just, they have 15 minutes to take care of all the issues that would be going on if a nuclear weapon was fired, but nobody's worried about it quite yet. There's no rush. CNN, who's freaking out in a bunker. It gets worse.
How is Hawaii actually preparing for the potential of a nuclear strike? It's one thing to have such an idea and concept, and it's another perhaps to look at it as a real risk.
Absolutely, and it's a really good question. How do you prepare when you only have, for example, 15 minutes? But that is why Hawaii is looking for, they are the first state to try and get their population prepared. They've been working on this for months now, at least 7 months, trying to come up with a really good plan.
It's 7 months. They've been working on this for 7 months. You know what they could do to just solve the problem right now? I got the solution. You yell, hey, somebody just fired a fucking nuclear missile at us. We're fucked. But by the way, when you go to run, make sure that you run equally to both sides of the island, because if you go to too much of one side, then it'll just capsize. Done anyway, so. Hank Johnson.
People here are not panicking. The emergency management folks do not want people to panic, but they want them to be prepared. Preparation is everything.
Guys, listen, the people in the bunker are not panicked here because they're in a bunker and a nuclear weapon would not affect them. And please, whatever you do, don't panic. CNN definitely didn't just spend 15 minutes on a segment about how it's only going to take 15 minutes to eviscerate all of Hawaii. No big deal. Nothing to panic about. Nothing to worry about. On Morning Joe, Joe welcomed a guy who has the eyebrows of the devil to talk about how Donald Trump should be on suicide watch.
Those primary numbers that I think would concern me the most, and I'd guess would concern you the most as well.
Joe, if I were a political consultant looking at a candidate who had these kind of numbers, I'd have him on 24-hour suicide watch. These numbers are not good.
Yeah, listen, guys, every poll had Donald Trump losing for about a year and a half, and then he ended up being, president of the United States. He's got a nice little office down the street here from our office. I don't think he's going to be on any kind of suicide watch anytime soon. I don't think he's going to listen to any poll numbers anytime soon. So we probably shouldn't either, because they were all really wrong. CNN's Brian Stelter today dropped this tweet, which I think is very interesting and very telling about the media bias. Go ahead and put that full screen. Guys, he put this up and he said, widespread distrust of the White House is not just a sign of the Trump's weakness, it's also a sign of the news media's strength. Since when has it become the news media's job to make us not believe in the White House? It really shows there that there is a very clear bias. I think this is probably one of the most clear tweets I've seen since I've been doing the show, or statements from anybody in the media, that shows that the media is running a slow coup against the White House, trying to get him kicked out. This is very adversarial, and they're saying that the media is stronger than the White House and showing that they can influence people to not believe in what they have to say. That's not a joke. It's pretty scary, and I think you should kind of be warned by things like this. They're going to claim that they're not biased, and then they're going to drop statements where they're very, incredibly biased and celebrating the fact that Donald Trump is not trusted because of their own work. Not good. Also today, the Google anti-diversity memo came out, and wow, it was 10 pages of just a lot. It got very, very deep. In it, a man went on a rant about how women are just not as qualified and strong mentally to be in a workplace because of biological differences. In response, women so frustrated with it decided not to show up to work. That joke kind of wrote itself. Poor guy. He got fired. If you guys wrote like a 10-page memo about how we're not diverse around here, anybody would get fired from their job for that. So he's not. I don't think he's such a martyr. Yeah. By the way, these long rants always start with, a reasonable thought, like this whole diversity thing. Man, we should be hiring the best people, not the most diverse. We shouldn't be trying to check boxes. And then, about page 3 of 10, it starts to go off the rails, where it's talking about biological differences and very odd things that like only a very, very limited amount of people in the very far alt-right believe in. When will people learn? Just quit. If you don't like a job, if you don't like where you work, just quit. I'm talking to you, actually. Megan, you can just quit. Just kidding. Joining us tonight is Lauren Fix, the car coach. She's going to talk about something very interesting that I think you guys will be intrigued by. It's the fact that the left is actually at war against cars and fossil fuels and things like that. It's a lot of things when you haven't really probably pieced this together yet in your head, but she's seen this from kind of a different angle because she's been working with cars and coaching people for a very long time. So let's get to that interview. I think you guys are going to find it very, very interesting. She's a great person, so throw to it. Lauren Fix, the car coach, welcome to the show. Now, I want to talk to you about something very interesting. I was watching your Prager University special, what do they call it, clip the other day on YouTube. Episode, yeah. Lecture, who knows. But it was something that was crazy that I had never thought of before, and it's the fact that the left is working to eliminate cars. It blows my mind. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Well, actually, we're over 2 million views, so I'm pretty excited we're actually getting the message out. But the thing about the segment was all about saying freedom. When you take away someone's car, you lose your freedom. You get on a bus or a train or an airplane, there's a schedule. You're there on time, you go to the destination, you arrive when they tell you. But with a car, you can take whoever you want, go wherever you want, whenever you want, and it's great, and there's no limitations because you just fill up with gas and keep going. I want to go to New York to LA, do it. And that's what's so cool. But when you take that away, when you put limitations in our way, and you got to remember, the people on the coast don't think like the rest of the country and the middle of the country. We want our freedom. You can't actually go to Costco and buy that gigantic container of toilet paper and carry it on the subway home or on a bus or on a bicycle. You need an SUV, and that's why the sales are up to 62%, and people want to go wherever they want to go.
Well, it's interesting because it's very interesting that you say that because I spend most of my time in Washington, D.C., even though I'm also in Austin. And in Austin, you have to have a car to get to places. In D.C., I'm trained to not have a car, and the costs are so high for insurance and everything else that you're kind of priced out of having a car if you're a normal human being. And it's an interesting point that you make. Do you think this is the way the left is kind of trying to make people more dependent on the system?
Absolutely. It's all about control. It always has been about control. You think about it. Well, if we could get people to use electric vehicles, they would be tethered by a cord. So you can only go so far. And that means they'll be reliant on electricity. And you look at all these limitations. They want autonomous cars so that they can control where you go. So you don't need a car. Go on a car-free diet, pardon the air quotes. And I'm thinking, a car-free diet? Are you crazy? Who are you supposed to tell somebody who lives in, I don't know, Oklahoma City? There's no mass transit. There's no buses. I mean, there's so many cities that are like that. Buffalo, New York, there's no mass transit. So you have to have transportation. And believe me, an electric car in the middle of winter, which is the upper half of the country, is absolutely stupid. There's no traction. The battery life gets cut in half. But boy, you're tethered to that electric cord, and then they really got you. And then make it autonomous, and that's like riding in a cab, and I don't do amusement rides. So.
Now, why do you think they're doing this? Not just the control thing. I mean, what are the other motivations? Is it a money thing, like where they're getting their lobbying dollars from? What's this coming from?
Oh yeah, I mean, look at someone like Tesla. He's taken $5.2 billion of your money in order to fund his company. That makes no sense. Did you get a check? I didn't get a check. I don't want a check, actually, and I don't think that he should get one. If I say let the free market reign, there are other electric car manufacturers out there that aren't taking a nickel. Go get them. Make it happen. If we want to buy your product and you succeed, fantastic. But you're not out there seeing every manufacturing company on the planet collecting money. I own a manufacturing company, and all they do is tax the heck out of us, whether it's healthcare or anything else. So the thing is, if they can take the money from the companies and control everybody, that's exactly what they want. If they had it their way, there would be no cars on the road. Every single vehicle would be autonomous and plug-in, which is absolutely absurd, and the grid can't handle it. And you start thinking, well, why wouldn't I want that? Well, if you don't want to drive, that's totally fine. Remember, they have cabs. You can use an Uber or whatever Lyft service you want. But for the rest of us, we want to drive. It's freedom. And forgetting all, like I have older Mustangs. If you got older Mustangs, you think I'm going to let someone make that electric and autonomous? First off, it couldn't happen. Secondly, it's absurd. And the car enthusiast market is gigantic. It's $62 billion. And that, we're not just talking about like aftermarket cars. We're talking about all the companies that support that industry, from car repair and maintenance, which we need on every vehicle, to all the sub-suppliers that supply to them. So this is a big impact on the economy. why in the world would you want to tax it and limit it? You're just going to hurt the economy in the end, and then people will be unhappy. I mean, that's not what we're paying taxes for. We sent them to Washington to lower taxes, not to take control.
But you know, and why you said that too in the middle of that, when you talk about switching over to electric cars, electricity is still a majority coal that's powering America. Yeah. So it's kind of almost like they're against each other here, because coal is bad, and that's the only way that you would be able to basically fuel electric cars in mass quantities at this point. I mean, because
nuclear power you could use, but they don't want nuclear
that
power.
Either. Yeah. Even though that's really clean, you don't want it. No, that would be the worst.
Right. And then my favorite, we can use solar and wind. Today, we're using less than 4% of solar and wind. Here's my favorite part. A solar panel gets damaged. Okay, so we replace it. Where does the old panel go? It's full of cadmium and mercury and boron, all these very highly poisonous chemicals. And they sit stacked up in salvage yards all over the world. I mean, think about it. A hurricane or tornado, a stone hits it, a branch. It's garbage. Now this poor guy who's up there on the roof replacing the panel is exposed to those chemicals, and so is everybody else that handles it while it sits in a salvage yard. And we have the same problem with all these batteries. So, okay, I've got a Prius or whatever, or a Tesla down the road. The battery's been used. We've used it for everything. It just like your remote control batteries, when it's dead at some point. So what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
No one has a solution. There's no solution. So are we creating other problems just in order so that one administration, whether it be the current one or the past one, gets what they want? There's obviously money changing hands in this. There's no other reason.
And the most powerful solar panel I've ever seen used on a car was, I believe it was an Audi about 5 or 6 years ago. They had a solar-powered fan on the inside for hot days. That was the most a solar power
and it doesn't work.
And no, and it broke very easily. It was absolutely incredible. Yeah. Lauren, we're running out of time here. Tell us more about where we can find out about your work and what you're doing.
You can follow me at Lauren Fix on all forms of social media, and yes, that's my real last name, or go to laurenfix.com and sign up for my free newsletter.
Hey, listen, I asked you that before the interview started because everybody questions whether or not Tim Young is my real name because of how quick and tiny it is. So Lauren,
how young you look.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't see the spot in the back of my head there. It's kind of it's not good. That's why it's always front camera shots and kind of off to the side, nothing from the back. It's the trick.
Yeah.
Lauren, thank you so much.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
See ya. Thanks, Lauren Fix, the car coach, for being here. If you want to go follow her on Twitter, go do that and go learn more about her on our website. Guys, that's it for tonight's show. Thanks for watching. For more breaking news and cool stories, scroll down on this page. Go to dailycaller.com, dailycallerNewsFoundation.org. Click the like button, click the heart button, click the smiley face button, share it. And thanks to the one Megan, and then the other Megan leaves tomorrow. We're losing all of our Megans here, all of our